If you'll remember to a few months ago, you might remember a video called Which Fire Alarm is Loudest, where I compared alarms to determine which one was loudest. In that video, we determined that the Wheelock NS and AS was the loudest, and that the Spectraler Advance was not the loudest alarm. However, that video ended up becoming my most popular video, and I get comments day and night asking me to do a different video comparing some different alarms such as older devices. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Now here's the scoop. In addition to just measuring how loud each alarm is, I'm also going to be measuring how well each alarm penetrates through walls. Basically, I'll place an alarm on one side of a wall and measure the decibels from the other side of the wall to see which device penetrates through that wall the best. Let's get to testing. Here are the alarms I've chosen for today's testing. You can see I have chosen one alarm from each genre. I have some standard alarms from the test we did last time. I have a low frequency sounder, a mini horn, some mechanical horns. Of course, I have some older and newer devices. And then, of course, we can't forget about the infamous bell, so I also have a bell. Prior to testing, each alarm was wired up, and if there was a volume selection, it was set to continuous at the default volume setting. The alarm will be placed exactly 10 feet away from the decibel reading. The first alarm we'll be testing is the Spectraler Classic. According to the label on the back of this device, it will output 75 decibels minimum at 10 feet away. Looks like the label was correct. This device outputted 83.6 decibels, which, if you can count, is higher than 75. Now I've put the Classic behind the door. Let's see how much this affects the sound output. Behind the door, the Classic outputted 65.5 decibels, which means it went down by a factor of 18.1 decibels. Next up is the Simplex 4903 mechanical horn strobe, which according to the label produces a minimum of 75 decibels. This unit produced 89.8 decibels with no obstructions. Now let's see how well it does behind a door. That's pretty impressive. This unit produced 76.5 decibels behind a closed door, which means it only changed by a factor of 13.3 decibels. This unit is now in the lead. Next is the Wheelock NS. If you'll recall back, we already tested this device without obstructions and it came in at 103.2 decibels. Now let's put it behind the door and see how loud it is. The NS generated 75.8 decibels, which is quieter than the 4903. That also means the sound output dropped by a factor of 27.4 decibels, which is quite a big loss. Next, I'll be testing the Wheelock 7002T, which according to the back exceeds 75 decibels at 10 feet away. So with no obstructions, this unit outputted 88.3 decibels, not too bad. Next, let's see how loud it is behind a door. Behind a door, this was 65.7 decibels, which means the volume decreased by a factor of 22.6 decibels. Next up, we'll be testing the Simplex 4051. The 4051 ended up getting to 91.1 decibels, which means it's the loudest we've tested today. Now let's see how it does behind a door. Behind a closed door, this got to 79 decibels, which means it's the loudest one we've tested. This only went down by a factor of 12.1 decibels, which is the lowest yet. Next up, we have the Wheelock Bell. We've already tested this, and we know it's at 87.7 decibels. Well, the bell came in at 62.3 decibels behind the door, which isn't too bad. That is, however, a 25.4 decibel decrease. Now let's put the mini horn behind the door and see how well it performs. This came in at 62.1 decibels behind the door, which is a 21 decibel decrease. Next up, we have the Wheelock Bell. We've already tested this, and we know it's at 87.7 decibels. Well, the bell came in at 62.3 decibels behind the door, which isn't too bad. That is, however, a 25.4 decibel decrease. Finally, the last horn we'll be testing is the Wheelock EHS style horn. This is the exact same horn that you'll find on an EHDL1, however, this is a EH-24S. This unit was 91.9 decibels with no obstructions. Now that's impressive. This unit made it to 80.3 decibels behind a closed door. This is the loudest alarm yet, and it is now in the lead. It also is the last alarm, which means that it pretty much won the competition. Alright, so here's our final analysis. You can see number 1 is the Wheelock EH-24S. Number 2 is the Simplex 4051, followed by the low-frequency sounder. Then the advanced 4903, NS 7002T, Spectraler, Wheelock Bell, and then mini horn. So yeah, that's that. And as usual, like I said on the other video, your perception of hearing is different from someone else's, so don't get into arguments with people on what you think is louder, because it is technically subjective, and what you think is loud might not be loud to someone else, and what someone else thinks is loud might not be loud to you. Also, this video took quite a lot of effort to make, so if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.